Please share the broadcast right now because the Lord has taken the major prophet of God. I am seeing myself right there in America because whenever a prophecy comes from this altar, just know that the prophecy has been spiritually designed to happen, except otherwise, except something extraordinary is done. If not, whatever the Lord has revealed to his servant, the major prophet of God, is what you are going to hear with your ears, and you're going to see with your eyes, and you're going to begin to experience these things on the face of the earth, because God is God and God is not a man. So share the broadcast right now so that you can be a witness. And do me a favor, as I'm prophesying, just comment, I'm a witness, so that the very day that these things begin to come clearer in the eye of men, that men can see with their eye, you can now know the major prophet of God prophesied it exactly the way it is. Because in the realm of the spirit, I am seeing what's called major prophet of God taking straight away to United States of America to begin to look at issues that are going to unfold. And I said we must put the people of America in prayers and begin to ask that the Lord should not allow the enemy of America to come into America to perpetuate evil or divide them the more. Because in the realm of the spirit, I am seeing what's called, this is what's called in the realm of the spirit, the person in authority called the president of America, prepared and ready to now begin to pilot the American governance and American leadership and American presidential leadership beyond what's called 4 years. And I begin to ask the Lord, I said, is this going to be what's called this, what's called what the Lord has revealed to me, that's going to be what's called top 10 agenda that will lead to what's called life president? Is it what is about to happen? The Lord said, no, what is about to happen is that many people now will come out to revolt, and so many people will say, no, we don't want that. But the president will move and get to a point, and everything will rise to now begin to point at whether he must continue, whether he like it or not, to continue and to begin to continue to exceed the first what's called second tenure and proceed into beyond second tenure to what's called third time and what's called life presidency. And people were like, oh, major prophet of God, these things are the things in the realm of the spirit that you have digested and have said it out. How is this going to play out? And the Lord said, this was called veto power, and this was called martial power, and this was called continuity, and this was called taking charge, and this was called revolters will be pushed aside. And this thing is going to happen in America, except otherwise. Because when the Lord has taken the major prophet of God from 4 years ago and several years ago to begin to look at what's called the state of America, everything that has proceeded to happen in the physical realm from that days and those years till date, God has made them visible in the sight of the major prophet of God to see them and prophesy them before they begin to happen in the realm of the physical. Because I'm seeing this was called the president will be going and get to the point, and people by themselves will agree together to make sure that this agenda is projected and carried out, and nothing anybody wants to do about it. Now we're going to see the American people begin to like, some people were like, oh, we cannot take this cannot happen, bringing what's called litigations and different things, and revolt, and so many counter, and this becomes something that will surely continue to proceed beyond what people can control, except the otherwise. And the otherwise has what's called spiritual meaning that only major prophets understand what's called the otherwise. Because in the realm of the spirit, the Lord has taken the major prophet of God to sight the spiritual world and look at the terrain from what's called this year 2025, and I've moved on from 2025, 2026, 2027, 2028, and I've flown in to be able to see what's going to proceed and what's going to unfold right there in what's called the governance of America. Because I have given you the prophecy, because life president is going to sit in American siege. Is this a meaning that democracy, what happened to democracy? What's going to happen to democracy?